Assalamu alaikum. This video is for you if you are a high-income Muslim that feels stuck in your marriage. What I mean by feeling stuck is if you have problems that just can't be solved and it's been years you've been trying to solve this problem and it seems you can't agree on that and you keep fighting over this problem and you can't even agree to disagree. So you just feel stuck. You can't picture a future anymore in your relationship, but you don't want to leave the relationship because you love your partner and because you have many things at stake like family, children, assets, I don't know, many things at stake in this marriage, and you just can't leave the marriage, but at the same time you just feel stuck and it's very painful and you maybe suffer a lot. And I understand you because actually you'll see most of my clients, if not all my clients, are actually in your exact situation. Like one client that came to me a few years ago and he was fighting with his wife for many years because his wife wanted to work, so she didn't want to take care of their daughters, but he wanted actually to work and let his wife take care of the children. So there was this huge fight that was continuing, perpetual fight in this marriage, and they came to me because they were actually contemplating divorce because of that issue. They didn't want to continue like this, and they were feeling very distressed. They were feeling hopeless. And the thing is, applying some of the principles I'll show you in this video, I understood right away the real issue. And in 2, 3, 4 sessions, we made huge progress. And until his wife actually wanted to hurry things up, and she told me, now I want to focus directly on the fight issue, the disagreement issue. So we spent a few sessions on that, even though I told her it's not a real problem and you won't see any results by doing this. But because she forced me, we've done that, and actually it made things worse. And we needed to go back to the actual problem that I'll show you in this video, proving that most people feel stuck because they don't understand the real issue at stake, what's really happening in the relationship when they are in these dynamics and when they are feeling stuck. And that with quick changes in the way you think and in the way you take this issue, then you can have massive difference and you can actually fix your situation and move forward, inshallah ta'ala. So that's what I'll show you in this video. And so my hope is to provide you two things. First is to change the way you think so you can actually identify the real problem that I call here the leverage point, because it's the thing when you will fix it, then you'll actually see changes in your marriage and you won't feel stuck anymore. And then, of course, how you can unstuck your HAM marriage, which is high income Muslim marriage. Now let's go to the basics. I want you to understand the principle behind what's happening, because if you don't understand the principle, then it will be hard for you and you won't be able to apply what I'll show you in this video, and then you won't see any changes and you'll keep suffering in your marriage until you think about divorce, and you will be stuck now contemplating divorce because you know divorce is not a good idea for your family. It will be destroying your family, your children, and it will make you miserable and it will make you lose a lot of money in the way. Or you can stay, but you will still be stuck in your marriage, and you see a lot of danger in that. Maybe your children will be involved into these matters, these issues at stake. Maybe you will be unhappy, maybe your partner will be unhappy, and so you have all these issues in both options. Leaving the relationship, you have a lot of pain. Staying in the relationship, you have a lot of pain, so you feel stuck. And I don't want you to feel stuck, so I'll show you real principles that help you get out of this situation and unstuck your high income Muslim marriage. So I want to give you a principle. I don't want to give you a fish for one day. I want to teach you how to fish so you can have food for your whole life, inshallah, and you can actually navigate these problems in your relationship in the future. So let's start with one principle, key principle, that is all the keys to your problems, or most of the time the keys to your problems relies in asking the right question. So I want you to understand which question you need to ask in order to get out of this situation. Now there's a famous scientist, John Gottman, marriage scientist. He's more like an anthropologist. He studies successful and distressed marriage for 50 years, so 5,000 couples studied by John Gottman, and he tried to analyze what made happy marriage working and what made distressful marriage distressful in the first place. So John Gottman studied a lot of marriage, and according to his studies, very elegant studies, he concludes that 69% of conflicts are perpetual gridlock. These are two terms to say they just stay the same in the whole relationship. And how he determines this number is simple. He just followed the couple for all their life, and he just kept track of each conflict and which reason they were conflicting in each instances, and he realized that 69% of the time it was actually the same reason over and over again. So he concluded that every couple have 69% of conflict that are perpetual gridlocked, including happy marriage, successful marriage. So John Gottman's logical conclusion was that it was unavoidable, and that every couple, even happy couple, would having this perpetual gridlock conflicts. And so John Gottman's recommendation was to work on just acceptance, basically, because every marriage, it's natural to have this kind of conflict, so just accept it. And they worked on acceptance. Based on this, other approaches worked on acceptance as well. You have ACT in love, acceptance and commitment therapy in love. Russ Harris wrote a book about that. I think even quote actually this study of John Gottman. And so they work on acceptance. Just accept it, find a way to accept and live with it. There's another kind of therapy, very successful therapy as well. It's called integrate behavioral therapy. It was invented by Alexander Christensen, and it worked on acceptance. Now, I don't disagree with the fact that it's natural. So you have this in all kind of couple, it's natural. So I don't disagree with the fact that most couple, if they don't seek help, they'll naturally have this kind of issues. I don't disagree with that, even successful couple. The thing I disagree with is, first of all, it's not 69%. 100% of all problems, relationship problems, marriage problems, are actually perpetual problems. That's the first thing. So it's not 69%. Maybe 69% of the time, the matter of conflict, the things that they are seeing being debated about are the same, maybe. But the truth of the matter is 100% of the time, if something is a problem in a marriage, this is perpetual problem. So couple don't actually see things as problematic as long as it's not perpetual. They see it as problematic when it's actually come again over and over again in the relationship. And while I disagree with John Gottman and others regarding perpetual gridlocked conflict, is actually, I think it can be solved, definitely 100%. You can solve these issues, and you don't have to rely on acceptance, even though acceptance can be good. I'm not denying acceptance sometimes it may be good, and it's maybe not necessary to try to solve every conflict you have in your marriage. I'm not saying that, but I think definitely every problem can be solved until you don't feel you have a problem in your relationship anymore. So that's where I would disagree. So now let's go back to even more basic stuff, inshallah. So basically, what's a problem in a relationship in the first place? So what can we consider as a problem when a relationship is saying, okay, we have now a problem we need to fix, we have an issue we need to work on? Basically, it's really simple. Couples feel stuck or ask for help. It's the same basically, because they ask for help when they feel stuck, when this is a repeated issue. So you won't see a couple that just have one-time problem and it never repeated again in the relationship and they just ask for help. No, this is a repeated issue lots of the time. That's something that just is not short. It's something long-term, something that go back over and again, and then they'll ask for help and they'll feel stuck in their relationship. Another thing is, this usually is an issue that they couldn't fix themselves, because they tried to fix this issue and they tried many things and they didn't successfully fix the problem. Then they feel stuck and they ask for help in the relationship. And last but not least, is actually the most important. They feel stuck when this makes the marriage insecure. That's very important. The reason why it's a problem in the first place is because it makes it insecure. That makes the whole relationship insecure. So that's a problem. Which means if you don't have these insecure parts, they wouldn't be a problem in the first place. They wouldn't see it as a problem in the first place. So it's all about secure, and all the rest is smoke screen, which is important, because when you are in this kind of feeling stuck, in the kind of problems, in this kind of perpetual gridlocked issues in your marriage, you are actually thinking the issue is in what you are debating about, in the disagreement, in the conflict, in the way that the person speaks to you, in the way the person communicates to you, in the intimacy in itself, and in name every kind of marriage problem, you'll think on the surface level. So the thing that's apparent, you think that's the real issue, when actually you need to not focus on the tip of the iceberg, because it's a smoke screen. The real issue is you feel insecure. It makes a relationship insecure. If it wouldn't make the relationship, the whole marriage insecure, you wouldn't care about this thing in the first place. So let me give you an example. This couple that came to see me, they thought about their daughter education, so they thought that was the issue. That's a disagreement issue. The reason why we have a problem is because we disagree. My answer is no. You wouldn't see it as a problem if it was a disagreement that didn't involve secure, that would make your marriage insecure. The problem is because this makes the whole marriage insecure. You are doubting the whole marriage because of this disagreement. It's because this disagreement leads to insecurity in your marriage that you see it as a problem. So you should not focus on the disagreement itself. That's just a smoke screen, because if you focus on the smoke screen, what will happen is you'll waste time and efforts, and you'll just become hopeless, because you'll spend hours, days, months, years always going back to the smoke screen without understanding the core issue here. The core issue is this makes your marriage insecure. So what you need to focus on is, how can I make my marriage secure? How this thing that seems to threaten our marriage is not actually threatening in the first place. And that's why you need to focus. So let me go back to even more basics. I know that's a lot of things, and I'm giving you a lot of things and a lot of principle here, because what I'm saying is all good, but you won't be able to apply it. Therefore, I need to spend bit of time here to show you how it actually works, so you can actually change things in your marriage. So please be patient with me. I'll help you here. I want you to, like, it's probably, I don't know, it's probably 10 minutes, 15 minutes to save your marriage and save your life, inshallah, and save your family. So just be focused, please. And you see, it's not that complicated, inshallah. So attachment can be insecure or secure. Basically, it's insecure when you don't have enough trust in this attachment, so you don't think you can rely too much on that attachment, so it's insecure. I made a whole video on conflict on my channel. You can just go back to my channel and you'll see more on that. And it can be secure, and according to Susan Judson, the world leading expert on attachment into practice, especially in relationship, secure attachment is based on 3 pillars. So you have 3 boxes you need to check if you want to have secure attachment in your relationship. The first one is accessibility. Second one is responsiveness. Third one is engagement. Let me explain that to you. Basically, you need to be able to answer these 3 questions. Will you be there for me? Will you respond to my needs and distress? It's more an ability question here. Is like, will you be able to respond to my needs and distress even if you're there? And the last is, am I important for you? So these are 3 different needs that you need to have met in your relationship if you want to have a secure relationship. You have a need of presence, to see that the other person is here for you. Needs of response, that he's able to answer your needs. And need of importance, you need to see that he actually cares about you. These are the needs of attachment. When you have all this, then you have a secure relationship. Remove one of these 3, the relationship is not secure anymore. So maybe you start to notice where I'm leading you here, because what it means basically is the reason why this problem is making your marriage insecure is because it's threatening one of these 3 points. This problem makes you feel like maybe the partner won't be there for you anymore, or maybe your partner is not able to respond to your needs and distress, or maybe you're not that important. Maybe your partner doesn't care about you as much as you actually thought in the first place, or as much as you would like. So it makes your marriage insecure, so it's a problem for the relationship. A good image I want to keep in mind during this video is love and attachment need to flow in the relationship like blood in the body. So here you have a body, right? And the reason why this problem becomes a problem in your marriage is because this love and attachment need to flow in the relationship, but there's this point in the body, there's this part in the body where it can't flow anymore. Here it can't flow anymore. I'll put it in red. Here it can't flow anymore, and because it can't flow anymore, then the whole body is in distress and disarray. So that's the thing. You need to find this place. Why you feel stuck? You feel stuck because love and attachment is stuck in the relationship in some important place. So that's why you need to focus, and that answers the first point, which is how you want to identify the real problems in your relationship. You need to go back to these 3 questions. So how to identify the real problem in your relationship? 3 questions. Where are the things? What are the things that make me think that my partner doesn't care about me, or doesn't care as much as I would like? What are the things, the moments, exact situation where I actually have this feeling that I may not be as important that I want to be for my partner? My partner doesn't care as much as I would like in my relationship. Then fear of responsiveness. What are the things that make me think that maybe my partner is not able to answer my needs and distress? And fear of presence. What are the things that make me think that maybe my partner won't be here for me? By the way, I use think, it made me feel as well. What are the things that made me feel that way? That made me feel uncared about, or make me feel that the partner isn't responding to my needs and distress, or that my partner is just neglecting me, isn't there for me. And if you identify these things, these are the real issue in your relationship. These are the place of insecurity. Every time you have everything that you'll have in your mind here are the real place where you have insecurity in your relationship. You can actually, if you want, you can pause the video and ask yourself these 3 questions and make a list, and you will see that each point are the real problems in your relationship, and that these are the points you need to work on. Because if you fix this, I can promise you won't have any problem in your relationship, and you won't care about disagreements, about intimacy, about all the other things, because that's the real things. That's the real problems in your relationship. So what's happening here is you'll have a list of different things, and all of these things are stimuli, so they are action or things in your partner that make you feel or interpret that way, that make you interpret that you may not be as important, or that your partner won't be able to respond to your needs or distress, and that your partner won't be here for you anymore. So it will give you a list of cues, a list of stimuli that are actions and things in your partner that you interpret as not being, as a lack of importance for your partner, as a lack of ability to respond to your needs in your partner, as a lack of presence in your partner. So yeah, and be careful, because it actually goes both ways. That's why couple, when they have these issues, when there's insecurity, it always end up in a kind of cycle, which means, so these stimuli, okay, they create a lot of time fear in your partner as well. So there's this fear of importance, fear of responsiveness, fear of presence, right? Why these fears are important? Because if it's not there, it leads to either rejection, either abandonment, and we fear rejection and abandonment. I speak more about that in other videos about the biological basis of this and the science behind what I'm saying. But just stay with me here, and you can watch the other videos if you want more detail about that. But basically here, say fear of rejection, fear of abandonment, but it's the same. These are the same. There's a link to it. I won't explore this in this video, but there's a link between both. So yeah, so stimuli trigger fear in your partner that trigger a reaction and emotion in your partner. This emotion and reaction you don't interpret as love and attachment based emotion. So that's the part where love and attachment isn't flowing in the relationship. You don't see love and attachment in your partner when it is reacting to this stimuli. So you think, so it's threatened these three things. It's make you think that maybe your relationship is not that secure and that your marriage is not that secure actually. So it's trigger a fear of rejection and abandonment in your place, and then you have these reactions that do the same for your partner, and so on and so forth. So you end up in this insecure relationship, this insecure cycle that get bigger and bigger until the whole marriage become insecure. So that's what's actually happening. And so how you identify the real problem, you ask these three questions. You have a list of stimuli and cues, and this list of stimuli and cues are the real problem in the relationship that if you fix, you won't have any other problem anymore. Now the question is how you can unstack these things. Okay, so let's go back to the basis. We said love and attachment need to flow in the relationship like blood in the body. So all these list of cues and stimuli are parts in the body where love is not flowing anymore. So love is not flowing in the relationship in all these things. So you need to unstack. So you need to allow love to flow in these things. What it means is you need to make love and attachment apparent in these things. It needs to be clear, because it's not clear. You are in this cycle where everybody see these emotion and reaction that you interpret as not being love and attachment. That's why you feel insecure. That's why there's so many doubts in your relationship. So what you need to do is to change this narrative where you interpret or you feel that your partner action is a proof of lack of importance, responsiveness, presence, a lack of attachment and love. You need to change this narrative in both ways, by the way. Like, remember, it goes both ways. So you need to change this narrative. You need to understand what's behind this reaction that you think are signs of disengagement, lack of commitment, lack of love, lack of attachment, and so on and so forth. And your partner needs to see that behind this reaction that he thinks are signs of lack of love and attachment is actually a place of love and attachment. Okay? So how you unstuck? So problem because you don't feel love and attachment. So you understood that point. So love and attachment isn't flowing because you or your partner can't see love and attachment in this particular instance, in this particular place. So why? Because there's disconnection. So that's a place where love and don't flow naturally in the relationship. Love and attachment don't flow naturally. That means one or both partner can't see love and attachment in the other person emotion or reaction. So then that makes makes them feel not cared about, or maybe that the person won't answer the needs, or maybe that the other person won't be there for you, basically. And so what you need to do, you need to reconnect here. You need reconnection. What you need to do, you need to make love apparent. You need to make love flow. And so there's a reason why love doesn't flow. It's because people don't see love and attachment. So you have love and attachment based emotion. Every time you are in the situation, you have emotion deep down. You have feelings that are feelings of love and attachment, because obviously you are in love and you are attached to your partner, right? And you have this love and attachment for your partner, but the partner don't see these emotions. So you need to be able to see these emotions. But there's a reason why you don't see these emotions. Usually there's 4 reasons, and depending on the reason, now you know how you can unstack your relationship. So these are important. First reason is you are not aware of your attachment emotion. So maybe when you are watching this video, and maybe when I just said that you obviously feel in love and attached to your partner, maybe you cringed a little bit and say, no, I don't think so, or I'm not sure anymore. And that's just because you're not aware of this emotion in your body. Look, you wouldn't be distressed in your relationship if you weren't in love or attached to your partner. That's just the thing. You wouldn't care. You wouldn't care about this relationship. You wouldn't be watching this video for I don't know how long now if you didn't love your partner. The sign that you are suffering pain, the pain you are experiencing, is the proof that you are in love with your partner. And that's actually a beautiful thing, because you wouldn't be suffering if you weren't in love. That's a proof you're human, a normal human, and you're just in love and attached, and you just don't feel this attachment in your partner, and you feel threatened, and you just fear that you may lose it, and you hold this reaction. So the truth of the matter is, if you are watching this video and you feel there's absolutely no love and attachment in this relationship, then it's probably an awareness issue. Okay, so you just need to do an introspection until you can realize what emotion and love and attachments rely behind what's happening, so you can just communicate this. Let me take an example. Let's say your partner is just working too much and don't go home as often as you want, and so he's not present in your home. And every time you get back from work, you are actually screaming and criticizing him because you feel he's not involved enough in your relationship. Okay, these critics and this scream comes from a place of love, of you wanted to have an involved partner that you can be with. So that comes from a place of love and attachment. Maybe you don't realize it and you're not aware of it, so you can't communicate this. And if it's the case, you need an introspection. You need to ask you the question: why this is getting me mad? Why this is bothering me? Why my partner and not another person? Why, when it's just my normal friend, when it's just a workmate, why I don't feel all these things? And I just feel these things when it's my partner that is doing these things. Why I'm not caring about that things when it's a complete stranger in the street that does it. But when it's my partner, now I just care about it and just get triggered, and I just get into my fight mode. That's the question you need to ask, and then you understand. That's a way to introspect and understand the real emotion, the real love and attachment-based emotion behind your behavior, and then you can just communicate it, saying to your partner, when you see me screaming, the truth is I'm just feeling this and this and this love-based emotion. By the way, that can be negative and positive emotion. That has nothing to do with negativity, positivity here. It's just emotion based on love and attachment. For example, sadness can be loved and attachment based. Love, sadness can be happiness, can be pleasure, can be pain, can be. So it has nothing to do with being pleasant or unpleasant. It can be pleasant, unpleasant. The important components of the emotion here, it needs to be attachment and love based. So the question would be, why my partner and not other people? Why that just my partner is getting me to react in that manner? That would be the question. Or to react in such a manner, maybe the reaction is stronger when it's your partner. So you need to ask this question. Now, sometimes the problem is not awareness. The problem is rejection. So that's the classic problem that they call it disowned maladaptive emotion. That's the technical term. It's when you actually could feel the emotion, but you didn't accept it. This emotion was unacceptable for you. Maybe because it was, maybe because you didn't like it. Maybe because there was some shame around this emotion. Maybe because it felt unethical, or maybe because you felt threatened by this emotion. So when you felt this emotion, you just rejected it. You just denied the emotion. So now it's not really an awareness problem. It's this ownment problem, which is a bit more complex to work with. But here you need to work on self-acceptance. You need to accept your true self. You need to stop to lie to yourself. You need to just face everything you're experiencing and work on self-acceptance. I won't go too much into the solutions here because it would take me so much time. Of course, I could make 1 hour, 2 hours conferences for each of these points. Introspection is very hard. Self-acceptance is very hard, and here I won't even speak about some of the solutions because it's so complex. But what I want you to do is get a direction and a rough idea of what you need to do, so you can see immediate change. Even though, of course, to have complete results, you need more training and more information about everything of this point. Then the third reason why you may still feel stuck and love may not flow in your relationship is maybe because you are aware of this. So you are conscious about this loved and attachment-based emotion you are feeling in these situations, but you don't show this emotion because of some blocks. It can be pride, it can be fears, it can be many things. But because of that, you're just not showing these emotions. So obviously, your partner don't see these emotions. So the partner get into this problem if you fear of not being that important, or that you won't be able to respond to his needs or distress, and that you may not be present for him in the future. So that's the third reason. So you need to work on blocks here, and there's so many different kinds of blocks. It can be cognitive blocks, emotional blocks, motivational blocks, skill-based blocks that I can't just speak here in this video. It's a bit more complex, but we have a way to work with it as a therapist, obviously, so that it's not a lost cause. You have hope, of course, but I need to have more time and to have a more longer video to speak about this. And then last possibility is you have done everything correctly. You're actually aware, conscious of your love-based, attachment-based emotion, and you communicated this emotion to your partner, but your partner didn't respond to your emotion. That made you feel even more threatened. It actually raised the fear in you because you didn't have a response. You tried to connect, so you tried the love flowed from you to your partner, but then got blocked by your partner, and it couldn't flow to your partner. So the relationship is stuck now. Love is not flowing naturally in the relationship in this particular place because of blocks in your partner. And then you need another video, actually. I will probably need to train you like I'm training the therapist in my clinic center here, because Is more like a therapeutic work when you need to dress and navigate the blocks of other. It's actually another work, and it's a pretty complicated, but I'm pretty sure I'll find a solution to make it easy and popularized for people so they can see changes in their relationship. So that's the rough idea of why you'll feel stuck in your relationship and how you can unstuck, and that works for every kind of issues in your relationship: intimacy issues, trust issues, communication issues, conflict issues, disagreement issues. Every issues are concerned by this principle. Stop focusing on communication. We don't care about communication. Intimacy, we don't care about intimacy. Disagreement, we don't care about being in agreement or in disagreements. Stop focusing on that. Focus on attachment. Focus on why your relation is insecure in the first place. Focus on where love and attachment isn't flowing in a relationship like it would flow in a body, and you see massive change right away. Really, you are wasting your time by focusing on smoke screen. That's not the issue. The core issue is you just want to feel this love and attachment to your partner, which is beautiful. That's beautiful. That's the proof you love your partner. That's the proof there's love in this relationship. That's the proof of the beauty of that relationship. So fight for what matters. It doesn't matter. The way you communicate isn't important. The way you agree or disagree isn't important. Really, you need to focus on what matters, which is I feel in love. This person is important for me. I want to be important for that person. So how can we find a way to feel important in all instances of our relationship? Because remember, life is short. If you don't do the work now, what will happen is you'll delay the work until someone calls or someone knocks at the doors and tell you, I'm sorry for your loss. Your partner isn't there anymore. Time is over. You can't fix things in your relationship. And then you'll think of all these instances where you felt in love, when you felt the attachment deep down in your guts, but you couldn't communicate it, but you couldn't show it to your partner. And instead, what you showed was hate, frustration, anger, and so on and so forth, or maybe avoidance, maybe defensiveness, maybe I don't know which kind of thing you show to your partner in these instances, when the truth was you fell in love. So be true to yourself, stop to lie to yourself, and work on this issue, because life is short, death is near, and you won't have ultimate delay until death comes to you, and then time's up, and then you won't be able to fix a relationship, and then you'll have unfinished business in your life, and you'll suffer from this unfinished business. So yeah, that's it for today. Please let a comment to share with me what you thought about this video, what was your struggle, so I can help you better in the future, inshallah ta'ala. And please share this video with your partner so you can actively change things in your relationship, so you are not the only one understanding these important points and doing the real work that will change your life and your marriage, inshallah ta'ala. And if you want to know more about conflicts, where I go in more details about what's a conflict exactly, and I'll give you precise templates of what you can actually say in this situation, so you can put what we've seen today into practice, and you can see changes in your relationship, and you have very precise actionable steps you can do right now. Please click on the video that show on your screen and watch it. Barakallahu fikum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.